This is Bill Hornbarger, Chief Investment Officer with Benjamin F. Edwards, with three things to watch for the week of December 4th, 2023. Well, the big focus is actually going to be on the employment report for November, which comes out on Friday. Employment has shown to be remarkably resilient in the face of aggressive interest rate increases by the Federal Reserve, and another good number is expected this month. Non-farm payrolls are expected to be up about 160,000, and that would include the United Auto Workers and the Screen Actor Guild, about 40,000 people coming back onto the employment rolls after the end of those strikes. Hourly earnings are expected to be up about 4%. That would be indicative of a little progress on wage inflation in light of the Federal Reserve interest rate increases. If we see those consensus numbers, they would be consistent with the idea of a soft landing, and they would argue that the Federal Reserve probably is closer to being done or is done with this interest rate cycle. So again, we'll see those numbers on Friday morning. Also on Friday, the University of Michigan Consumer Expectations data is released, and part of that is inflation expectations, both short and long term, 1 year and 5 year. And one of the things that we've kept an eye on and we've noticed recently is that inflation expectations have been creeping higher over the last 3 months, despite the fact that inflation itself is actually coming down. And that is a concern for the Federal Reserve. Inflation expectations do play into consumer behavior, and an increase there is something that could be potentially troubling. Again, those numbers are expected to be stable to slightly lower. 1 year inflation expectations expect to fall to about 4.3%, and the longer term number expected to decline to 3%. So we'll be watching those very closely also. And then finally, investors will be keeping an eye out for the so-called Santa Claus rally. December actually is the second best month of the year, up about 1.5% on average since 1945. And it's actually the month most likely to have gains, up 77% of the time. And so far in 2023, the seasonal tendencies and the seasonal trends have been strong. If you think about September, one of the worst months of the year, we had a very difficult September. October, historically a volatile month. We did see a lot of volatility. And then November, typically a very strong month, we saw a 9% gain in stocks. So if that holds true, we could see a Santa Claus rally as we head into the end of the year. And that's actually a forecast that a lot of people are calling for.